Oh, sorry guys. It's back now. Oh, so all the things I just said. Oh, I have to say it again. Okay, thank you for saying it. Sorry guys. It is on now, right? Can someone give me a thumbs up or something? I think I just forgot to turn it on the right place. Yes, great. Thank you so much. Well, as I was saying to myself before, welcome to another bootcamp, this time in a more relaxed fashion. Good to see regulars, Renan, Elena, Ian, Philip. We're gonna be a bit more relaxed today. It's gonna be nice. No people talking to me while I try to stream. Even though it was great that people came over, it's hard to focus on one thing, talk, and try to teach and be social at the same time. So today we're gonna nerd out a little bit and just take it chill. As always, my name is Oliver. Last time was so clutch. Yeah, it was. I'm glad you loved the Renan. I did too, but I was tired when I was done. That was a lot. Yeah, my name is Oliver. I'm a third semester student here at CADA, and today we're gonna be doing my favorite thing. We're gonna be doing some animation. Nothing crazy. We're just gonna go over how to do it in Blender, how to navigate, etc., and go over the fundamentals. And for those of you who have done it before or feel a bit more ready for challenge, I have, a little bit extra for you guys. So there's one for beginners and one for, a bit less beginner, I would say. And again, the better you can make it look, the better. So the simpler I'll pick, the better animation you can be, basically. First, while we wait for the rest to join in, I wanted to show a few things. First off, I made a little animation myself with the group last month, and I want just to motivate you guys or bash me, whatever you want. I will show you that. It's a 1 minute clip, so it's nothing crazy, but I thought it would be fun, so you can see what I'm doing and what we're doing here at CADA. And Kevin asked, will you show us how to make the rig? If I could, I would. I don't know how to rig in Blender. I can show you in Maya, which is the software we use here at CADA. But I do plan on learning it soon, and then we could maybe do a little rigging thing, because it's the same principles. I just don't know how to find things here. So no, just animation. It's plenty, trust me. But without further ado, I will shut up for a minute and let you guys watch me and my group's video. It's not only mine. A little disclaimer: we didn't make any of the models. We just assembled the scene and we animated and lit and rendered. So we didn't create the assets. All right, enjoy. Alright, hope you enjoyed it. So that was our project. We had like 3 weeks to do that. So we're not going to be doing that much today. We're just going to be animating something simple, but just to show you guys what you can do with more time and more practice. Yeah, what we're going to be doing today is something along the lines of this. So we made this a month ago, and you can see where it's coming from. I used the same rig in our animation, but we're basically gonna make the ball bounce or do a jump, right? So it's not doesn't have as many controllers as this guy, but that just means we can make the animation more crisp easily. So I'm thinking that without further ado, let's go into it. Put on the music again. So, as always, I have a link for you guys. So, in YouTube, download the files I'm sending. There's 2 files in there. One is called ball tail animation and one's called ball. If you have not tried animating before, do not choose the ball tail. Because it's basically the same rig with an extra thing at the end, but it will just confuse you more than anything. So if you're new or you're very, very, what's it called? You are not too confident about your animation skills or Blender, choose the ball. If you feel you're ready for a challenge, take the ball tail. And I'm gonna be incorporating both so you can see what you're gonna do with it. But in the start, we're just gonna be using the ball aspect and not the tail. So yeah, so everybody do that. Open it up so you have it here. It should look something like this. I hope that I cleaned it up. It was a rig I downloaded from the internet, so there was a lot of weird stuff going on in there. And as always, I will just have my screencast keys over here so you can see what I'm clicking. Phantom, I just sent a link right there on YouTube, in the YouTube chat, where you can download it. Thanks, Ryan. We also got a lot of feedback on the camera stuff from like a veteran from the industry, so it really helped me. It helped us also to make it feel more fluent. Can you give me 3 random words? I'll try to make a render with them. I don't know. Ball tail animation. maybe do that one. Okay. I will start just showing the navigation. So to rotate, hold middle mouse on your mouse. To pan, shift and middle mouse. And to zoom in, use a scroll wheel or control middle mouse. Let me just hide that camera, it's annoying. Okay, so that's actually all we have to do almost. But we also need to figure out how to manipulate our little rig here. Because what we have here is a ball that is rigged. And you see these controllers, like, oh, in Blender they're called widgets. There's the blue one. There is a red one. And there's a green one. Very hard to see. It could have been rigged better, but yeah. If you have the tail, you also have these controllers on the back here. So yeah, let us just grab the main master control, the blue one here, and click G. If you left click, you accept, Control Z. If you right click, you snap it back to 0. So what you want to be careful of, you want to be careful of not, what is going on here? Oh, someone already animated on it. Okay, so if you have this one, click on the controllers that you can see a bend and go to the graph editor. Select the keys down here and click delete. Maybe not. Move away from where it's bending and then click delete. No? What the hell is going on? Never mind, we'll get to that later. So again, G to grab, left click to accept, right click to deny, R to rotate, and S to scale. And we're going to be using the scale today actually. So for the squash and stretch, because this does not have a squash and stretch controller, sadly, we are going to be scaling it like this. But I think actually, can Can I manipulate it? Yes, we can. Okay. Great. So, scale, R to rotate, G for grab. Next up, what the problem here is that it is animated already. So, if you click on any controller and has keys on them, you can see it down here in the graph editor, and we don't want that. So click on the controller, drag select the keys, and click delete. The problem is right now it's still skewed like this, and we don't want that. So if you click N on your keyboard and go to item, you can see that it has rotation. And let's just zero that out. And let's see if there's any other controls with rotation. This one has rotation 2. And this one down here has rotation. Oh, it's not a good, wow, it's really messed up. Why is this not in 0? Well, I'm sorry, I didn't see that, guys. The ones who made this did not do a good job. And for some reason, I can't see it up here. So the idea is that you can set everything to 0. And okay, there you go. I think that fixed it. Clear. Okay. So what I did, I select all these. I delete any keyframes down here. So I drag select over the graph editor and click delete. I go up under rotation, left select all of them and click 0. And if it's still yellow, you want to right click, and now it's of course gone, but and delete keyframes to delete them. Okay, so now we have a zeroed out rig. If you didn't have that before, you should have it now. If you don't, let me know, so we can actually start animating. Again, if any new people, if it's going too fast, if you are, okay, well, not even new people, everybody, if you're getting lost, if it's going too fast, if something slipped, write in the chat, let me know, and I will help you. I will stop what I'm doing and yeah, and give you a hand, because I'm here to learn you guys and not here to do some animation myself. Well, a bit, of course, but just write, rather write than give up, because I can always help. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we want to start animating. And how to animate. Basically, you set a point in time where you want to lock the position of your character. So let's say I want this to be here now, and in a moment I want it to be up. So to lock it in time in the timeline, you set a key by clicking I for inset, I guess, on whatever controller you want. Then you click G, and in this case I'm going to click set. Oh, we first move the timer, of course, because we just do it at the same point in time. You're just going to change what that freeze is. So you want to change it to, let's say, frame 10. I'm going to click G and set. And automatically it sets a key because auto keying is on, and this is this guy down here. If it's not on, you have to click I every time. I really enjoy having it on. I think you should do that too. It does help a lot. And now we have an animation. It's going from frame 1 to frame 10 and is moving up the Y axis. So that is very dope. Why is it the Y? Well, never mind. Next up, we want to put it down again. So let's go to frame 19. And why 19? Because that's exactly in between 1 and 10 and 10 and 9. I think, if my math is correct. So instead of you manually trying to hit the same spot, you can just go up to your transformations and click 0 while you are at frame 19. So now if you click spacebar and play, it does a jump. and you have your animation. Good job, guys. Thank you for tonight. Okay, what if we make it spin? So still, let me see, should I change another controller? Yeah, I think just to be to know which one is doing which, I want to use another controller to rotate it. So I'm gonna click the little green one here, one that's almost impossible to see. I wanna go to frame 1, and I wanna click I to insert keyframe. First, actually, I wanna do it. Yes. I to insert keyframe. I'm gonna move to frame 10, where we had our top point, and I'm gonna click R to rotate, X to lock it to the X-axis, and I want it to be, let's just say I want 180, so just type 180. And when it lands from 10, it's frame 19, sorry, you click R to rotate, X for the X-axis, and 180 to rotate. And now you should have a spinning little thingy. Again, doesn't matter if you have the normal ball or the one with the tail, it's the same. So we don't worry about the tail at all for now. First, we want the motion of our ball. Okay. Next up, this ball is not very bouncy, or it's super weird that it's just flipping around, because it doesn't have anticipation, which is when you see something is gonna happen. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna shift click my two controllers. I'm gonna wait. See, how do I do this? Oh, there you go. So if you wanna zoom in the graphic, you hold Control and your middle mouse drag either up or down, so you can see everything. So I want to click all of my controllers. I want to click G and lock it to the X axis, so G and X. I'm just gonna move them to frame. I'm gonna zoom in a bit so you can see. I'm gonna move them to frame 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna move them to frame 5. So it's gonna stand still for 5 frames and then it jumps. Because this gives us time to anticipate or do where like a I'm about to jump kind of thing. If I'm going too fast or you don't really get it yet, guys, let me know. Or if I'm skipping something. It's always hard to teach something as complex as animation in an hour, but we are trying. Next up, we want to stretch this. We want to squash this first, and then we want to stretch it. And I think we just use the ball as our what's it called? Can we use this? Maybe let me check something. Again, I'm not a Blender guru, so okay, we can do that. Okay, so click on the ball, and right now if you click S and Z, you can see that it is squashing, but it's squashing very, flatly. It's just squashing in the middle, which is weird because it should have contact with the ground and then move up from there. So what we can do is we can set its point of origin to the base here. And how you do that is you click Shift and you shift click. Right click. Shift and right click at the bottom. So this is just like ever so slightly. It's around there. It doesn't have to be perfect. And this just shifts our 3D cursor, which does nothing yet. So what we want to do is, after you shift and right click here, while you're clicking the ball, you click to Object, Set Origin, and Origin to 3D Cursor. And you see the little orange dot snaps to the base here. So now if I click S and Z, you can see we're scaling on this axis, on this point, sorry. And if you click S and Shift click Z, you can also squash it out. Of course, this is not following right now, but we can always fix that later. Again, this is just for the normal ball. So again, squash it down. Let's just start in frame 0, in frame 1 by clicking S. Wait, not clicking S, clicking I, sorry. Move to frame 3. Click S and Z. And S and Shift select Z. Shift Z, so you can scale along the other axis. You can also just scale them over here, of course. But now it's squashing out, you can see. And then here at frame 6, which is where it's frame 6 here. I'm gonna click S and Z. And S and Shift Z. That was actually a bit too much. S and Shift, select Z. So now it is squashing. Alright. And I actually want it to move 1 frame sooner. So I'll just click the main controller, I shift click this controller. Oh, I need to go to post mode, it does that. So this and shifts like this. And I'm gonna move all the keyframes 1 to the left. There we go. So now, if I play, you see I have anticipation. It's doing a little boop. Again, it doesn't matter that it's looking pretty bad for now. We just want it to fly off and do an act of anticipation. And when it comes down here, the moment it lands at frame 23, we want it to squash. So I'm gonna click on my ball on frame 22, the frame just before it lands. I click I to insert keyframe. On frame 23, I just copy my keyframe on frame 1 because I want to do the same thing. So Control C and Control V. Oh, whoop, not that. Can I do that? Oh, it's because it zooms so much in. Because we only want to click on the scale, of course. Can I just do... I see my problem. So it wasn't on frame 1, it was of course on frame 3. I did this, so I will select everything on frame 3, Control C, and on frame 22, and frame 23, Control V. Okay, there we go. So I have to select the right point in time. So this is why the graphic is so good, because you can see, oh, where did I actually do anything? Because here it's all in 1. Here you can see that whatever axes are, you don't have to figure out too much about the graphic, but just know that this is something that has been moved, right? Or been manipulated. And when it's a straight line, nothing is happening. When it's moving up or down, something is happening. So this point here, because I copied it and pasted here, is exactly the same. And it's squashing. And maybe I actually want to move it G and X, move it 1 over, so it squashes a bit more smoothly. And then I slowly want to set it back, so I Control C the keyframe or keyframe 1 on frame 1, and it goes back. So Again, this is not a good animation yet. Don't worry, we'll get that, guys. If we just remove the rotation for now, it's gonna help us a lot in seeing what we have, because it is gonna be a bit weird. So I'm just gonna delete this for now. So we don't have the rotation, and it's gonna be easy to see. Any keyframes are grayed out. Can you not select them then? Or do they work fine? And because this is also looks weird, it's hard to see, but they work. As long as they work, it's totally fine. See, it's not very colorful either in my opinion. So let me know if it's because you can't use them. All right, let's see what we have. I just deleted the rotation because that was a bit weird. So it's going up and it's going down. Next up, this jump here is very floaty. It just slowly accelerates up and it moves straight down the second it's hit the top, and then it slowly deaccelerates. And that's not how physics work. You have to have power to lift off from the floor, and then you have some hang time before you fall down, and then you have an acceleration and an impact. Okay? So how do we do that? Well, the hard way is just to add a new keyframe every single, place in time, and then you move it up a bit, and then you move it up a bit more and move it up. And that's actually how you did in the old days, the 2D days, where you have to draw every single drawing to make it, and then you move them, of course. But here we have the graph editor. The computer is smart and it's helping us. Control and middle mouse to again change the size. So what we want is we want to find the y-axis. That's the green one here, and we want to tell it, hey, the moment you start with this shift, you want to go straight up. So there's this little dots here that are connected to this. They're called tangents, and you can click these to change how it reacts. So the smoother the curve, the more smooth the movement. The sharper the line like this means it's gonna shift in momentum a lot. So if the curve was like this, you would know, oh, it's gonna go from going this way to this way, basically. So I want it to be very much upwards, because we want power. So if I play it now, see, that's already a lot better. It's doing a same with the landing. We want it to accelerate. So I drag the green line here. I left click on the tangent and I click G to move it. And then you can move it as far as you want. So I think this is pretty good. And let's just play it. That's already a lot better. And animation is going to be very short. This is only 23 frames. So if you go down here, can you see that? Can't see it from my face. I'll just remove myself. Awesome. Okay, next up, it's still going up and then just moving down immediately, and we wanted to have a bit more hang time. So what we want to do is we want to take this keyframe at number 14 for me, Control C, move it to 12 and Control V, and then I'm gonna move this one, G and X, to 16. So I have like 4 frames in between where it's basically doing nothing, which is not what I want either. So I want to click on the tangents on one side and move it slightly up, So I got this nice soft arc, and the smoother the better. Now you can see it's gonna hang and then it's gonna fall down. And this is a lot more natural. I would say with the power we have, it should jump higher, so I'm just gonna move it higher. Still gonna get the same slow hang time at the top, but it's gonna look so much better. See that? We got the anticipation. Might be going a bit fast, but it's okay for now. Can always change it. Next up, it's being a little too static in the mid-air with the squash and stretch. So when we get up around here, when it's losing momentum, I want it to slow down its stretch. So I'll just around frame 10, click S and set. Oh, on this thing, of course, on my ball, not my controllers. S and set, and frame 15 I'll have the same. So I'm getting Control C, Control V, and I would like it to be a bit of a smooth transition. So the same trick, I make 2 keyframes, and maybe actually we wanted to squash a bit so we can actually make it go a bit. We could move it down like this. That gives a lot more interesting feel, at least. It does look a bit weird, but that's also because this squash and stretch controller is not, well, it's not a controller. The squash and stretch we're doing is based on the same point, so it is gonna be a bit weird. So maybe not that much actually, maybe just like this. Because ideally, actually, it would flip in midair. So around here. I'm just gonna try something. Don't think about it too much. And now it's a crazy pancake. There we go. Yeah, that we can do, I guess. Just try something. Don't worry, I'll tell you guys what I'm doing in a second. Nah, it's not gonna work down here. Okay, never mind. I just want to see if we can make it work somehow. We can't. So I'm not gonna make it. Swirl like that. So I'm saying this is fine for now. Make sure you have a nice little anticipation here at the start of the animation. Make it go down over a couple of frames. And make it jump up. And make sure that you don't start the movement before it's starting to stretch. Because that would mean that you go down in your knees and then you just lift off the floor before you extend. And when you jump, you are fully extended before you actually lift off the ground. So you see here. So actually I should make him extend even more before he does this. And then you curl up and then you straighten out before impact. So actually this could be delayed a bit more because he's straightening out a bit too fast. You know, he's already doing it while still being midair. So this keyframe here, if you click on the actual sphere ball, move that over, you can see it, how it's looking. And then it straightens. So I'm gonna hold the what's it called? Squashed post a bit longer, and I can actually make it squash a bit more like this. And then it accelerates, it gets longer. And actually it squashes down a bit too soon, doesn't it? Or is it okay? Ah, that's fine. So now we have a ball that's jumping up. It looks like it has a lot more power. And it's shrinking when it loses power. And then it gets bigger again later. Maybe actually what is making it weird is that it's small in all areas. So maybe if I scale it up on the X and Y to just say 1.1. I think that's better. Yeah, and it's not as small. Because I want it to be thin while it's stretching, so it makes sense that the longer it is, the thinner it is. And the thinner it is, the wider, the shorter it is, the wider it is. That would make sense. Alright? Awesome. I'm actually starting to dig this. So, if you're with me so far, we're gonna move on to the tail and try some with that. If you're not, I would just keep trying to make this look really good and just make a very, very, very nice bouncing ball. So again, make sure you start with the key poses, which is where do you want it to be. So the first one was it's on the ground. The second one 10 frames later was it's in the air. And the last one 10 frames later was it's on the ground again. Then you go back and you say, okay, 5 frames before it's still on the ground. And then in between those, I want it to squash down. So that is what you call an in-between. So in between two big poses, you make something that explains what's gonna happen with the next pose. All right. And then you also make it straighten. So you can see, oh, it's gonna actually spring off the floor. And when it then enters the top, you squash it down again because it's no longer needs power. If it was like this, it would look super weird, right? Let me just do this. Like this would be weird. Because it doesn't have power anymore, so. So do that and fine tune it, and spend the last 20 minutes on that. Okay. The rest of us are gonna go on to the tail. I'm just gonna take off the shirt 1 second. It's a bit warm in here. All right, so the tail, and the same principles that we're gonna do with the tail applies to the rest. So you can still use it if you're new or you're just trying out or just want to try something. So first things first, we need to fix this here because this obviously doesn't work with our tail. And I can see this is annoying. Yeah, I don't like this rig. Because this is stuck to... Yeah, see, this is a problem. Ideally, this would not be bound to anything, so you can move it down like this. But it does not appear as that is an option. which is super annoying. So what we could do is, okay, we have to do some counter animation, which is, that's why you want a good rig, because the better the rig, the easier it is for the animator. What we're gonna have to do is, when we squash this down, we click G and Z to move it up to where it was. And let me see here. Yes, that's what we're gonna do. At least at the bottom here. And then instead, we're gonna click on a controller. And we're gonna move that down a bit. So it still looks... Oh. Let me see. So I'm gonna make a keyframe here. I to insert. Wait. Okay, and if this happens to your graph editor when you move the tangents, that's because this controls both sides. And that's usually what you want, but in a case of a jump where it goes from going not upwards to straight upwards, you don't want that. So we want to click on the keyframes we want to change and right click. We want the handle type to be free. Because now, wait, I can select one side at a time. And I want it, like I said, I want it to go down a bit. So it squashes down like this. And then I want it to stay down. Yes. It's moving a bit too much right now. G. So this is why this is a horrible thing. If I set this here, I can use that as a reference. My my 3D cursor. I set this to the base of my my ball at the first frame, and then here where I want to count animate, I want this to hit exactly the same spot. So I want it to be, if I can click from 1, I want it to be exactly the same height. Something like this. Okay. So it looks somewhat natural. It's still squashing down. And then they have an issue again here. So we need to do this, and this needs to go up. You see, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the tail to follow. Again, and with a better rig where we had a squash and stretch controller, this would be no problem. Or if we could move this separately, it would be fine. So this is a hassle, but it is working somewhat. You see? It's moving down with it. That's kind of what I needed to do. We're gonna have to fix it everywhere else, but now let's just start with this. Next up, now we can actually animate the tail. So, if we start with the first controller, we can move it out a bit. So I'm gonna keyframe it again, of course. I to keyframe and keyframe 1. At frame 3, we click G and Y because it's a Y axis. And let me see. Now it moves out. And you can actually do whatever you want here. So what do you want the tail to do? Do you want it to do a little spin at the start? Do you want it to move? Do you want, you know? And I think I want it to do a little I'm gonna keyframe everything. I want it to go a little. I click on all the controllers. I go to frame 1 and I click I to insert keyframe. Go to frame 4, R to rotate, X axis, and then I'm gonna do this. Maybe that's weird. Alright, we'll see. And frame 7, I'm gonna click R and X to move it down. And I'm gonna move this back in. And you can see the problem here again. The tail is not following like all the way around. Maybe I could just use this instead. Ah, okay, maybe this is better. Okay, I found a solution that's better than moving the ball up and down. Great, okay, we can of course just manipulate this mesh. Okay, I'm gonna Control C everything I just did, because that was a hassle. Okay. So I don't want this to be moved. Its location. I'm gonna right click, delete keyframes. And this one as well, I'm gonna delete the keyframe. And this I'm gonna set to 0 here. And I'm just gonna make sure the tangents are straight again. And I'm gonna move. Right? It's back. Go to 0. Well, okay, I'll just have to manually move it inside wherever the controller is. And I will delete these not this keyframe. I'll delete this keyframe and this keyframe. Okay, so the blue one here is the keyframe of the ball going up and down, which I don't want. So instead, I'm gonna select my acorn here, click I to insert keyframe, and I'm just gonna make it follow. So G and Z, G and Y. Perfect. That's so much easier actually. So now it follows like this. And we can still control this. So I'm just clicking R and G to move it. Oh, and I forgot to add a keyframe here. So I'm gonna set these to 0 and 0 at frame 1. So it squashes out like this, right? And then when it jumps up, we of course have to make this follow. G and Y, G and Z. Make it still be inside. And I think we want it. Where is it in start? It's in the middle, so we want to keep it in the middle, right there. And up here, we need to do one more correction. G and Y, move it in. G and Z, move it up a bit. And now I can select my controllers. And I think at frame 6, I'll rotate this down. At frame 7, I'll rotate this down. At frame 5, I'll rotate this down. So we have a little gradual animation going here. Let me see. There we go. See, now it's following along somewhat. Oh. The tail is following along. I actually think I want it to be a bit more inside it. Something like this. And then when it enters the top here, we have to do another correction. So G and Z and T and Y. And again, this is very, very tedious. This is not how you're supposed to animate in general. This is just when you, well, when you have a rig, that's kind of what you have to do. Okay, so it reaches the top around frame 12, 13. So I think I will move these slightly more down here, because they're still having speed, right? So I'm just gonna be a bit more aerodynamic, like this. Make sure I select all of them and I click keyframe. Sorry. And then it goes down, and at the end, right around here, right around 17, I want to start with one controller. 18, I'm gonna do another. 19, a third, and 20, one more. And the reason I do it one frame at a time is because it gives us more nice fluent effect that is not moving simultaneously, because you know, stuff doesn't move like this. It, you know, you always have some momentum and some, how to explain it, one thing moves and the next thing moves. So when you bend your finger, you don't usually bend the whole thing. You do one thing at a time, and the rest does like after image kind of effect, right? Which is what we're trying to do with a tail, which is why it's super hard, because that's a secondary motion. See, I'm getting it a bit here. It is flapping up a bit fast for my liking. I think it's because it's doing it so late. So I think if I take this keyframe and I move it one to the side, and I make the curve a bit more smooth, like this. That's better, and still very stiff after it reaches its endpoint, so that's also a thing to notice. Okay, let's look at our acorn again. It's starting to look wacky. So I want to look at the frame before it lands here. I'm gonna G and Z, G and Y, so it still follows. And I'll have to count animate again. G and Z, G and Y. I'll just make sure it fits on every frame. G and Z, G and Y. There we go. So now it follows. Now we want to do the final part of the animation here. Frame 20. We had this going. And I think at frame 22 we can have a bit more. Frame 23 a bit more, so it's not as stiff. And this can actually go the other way at this time here. So now I'm just playing around with it. Just so it looks a bit more alive. Nice. I like that a lot. Now, again, we have impact. That means we have a big motion coming. So I want to find the main tail control. It's hidden down here. And we splash at 24. That's why we're completely squashed. So this should follow a bit after. It shouldn't be instant. If you fall forward, your knees probably hit first and then your face. You don't just face plant. It's very rare at least. If you fall backwards, your butt first and then your head, or your back and then your head. Not your head at the same time as your heels. So I'm gonna move from 25. I'm gonna squash this down here. And these can all move at the same time here. Almost. Because it's so abrupt, right? Let me see how this looks. That's kind of nice. What we could do as well is we can make the tail squash a bit. So I'm gonna select it at frame 23. I'm gonna click I to insert everything, to keyframe everything. From 25, I'm gonna click S. I'm gonna scale everything, then the Y. I don't want it, well, I can scale a bit on the Y, but I mostly want to scale on the, so I'm holding Shift and clicking Y to scale on these two axes. Maybe I'll scale a bit on the Y and I'll just move it back in a bit. I think actually the frame before I'll also keep it at 1, just so it's even more of an impact. And I don't want to scale it on the set. That looks weird, that it gets bigger. And then when it's done, frame 27, it will turn to normal, 1. And we'll do it out. Okay, so after it has landed, we now want the tail to shake a bit, because it shouldn't be so stiff. So I'm gonna click R at 2 frames later than the impact. R and X. 1 more frame later, R and X, and 1 more frame later, the next. And this one I'll actually go I think this one I'll want to go the other way, because that makes more sense. That the whole thing doesn't move simultaneously. Last thing you want to do here is the ball just bounces and then stops. We want it to have a little bit more of a recovery, it's called. So it hits, it goes back up, and it goes a bit back down. So because now it's going up around here, and we can move that 1 frame back actually. So G and X. Frame 28, we can squash it a bit again. Yes. There we go. And frame 30, we set it back to 1. Let's see it. Yes, that is looking a lot better. So you see the tail really gives a nice dimension to it. I don't really like what is doing the tail at the end. The recovery also looks a bit forced. I need more frames. I'll take 3 more frames, I think. your tail is shrinking with me. If the tail is shrinking, you just make sure you change the keyframe on. So you click on the tail, and you click on the scale here, whatever it's shrinking, and you set it to 1, and then it shouldn't be... and you can just scale it up if you want. So just click S, and the tail scales up. And then you can move it in. Alright, just change my recovery bounce. I think I want it to be a bit more. How does this look? That's better. It has more time to settle now. Now I just need to add some more animation to the tail. I think. Just gonna make it. Make it move up like this. And if you ever do something and it just starts looking super wonky, you can always just delete the keyframes. Because now my tail, I don't know if you can see it, it's starting to look super weird. So I would actually just want to redo this part when it lands. And this, so it moves. And this as well. So now the tail doesn't move that much. So the only thing I got going for it is now this. And I think actually I'll take these and move them a bit. Now I'm just really trying too hard. I think this is good. Does it look good and good? Okay. I think this is it, guys. Let me see from my camera. So I'll just I'll click up here in the viewport overlays. No, the where did it look? Oh no, it's up here. Sorry, my camera's right here. So click on my camera, and I will lock my camera so I can see it a bit better. I'll move this down, and I'll see. Oi! Never mind. It's set to auto keying, so the camera now moves. I don't want that. So remember to set off auto keying so your camera doesn't animate. At least for now. Let's see where I can. Oh no. I'll have to clear keyframes on my camera. There you go. Okay. I want to see it here. And what you can do, you can at frame 5, I'll keyframe my camera. It's rotation. I'll just click I for keyframe. At the top part here, I will look up a tiny bit. Maybe, if I can. That was my intention at least. Let me go out. At least, no, the camera is set. I want to show my camera. I'll click it. I'll click I to keyframe. At the top, I'll rotate a bit. I to keyframe. See through it. And at the bottom here, again, I'm gonna rotate a bit. On the y-axis. And I'm gonna click keyframe. Okay. There we go. Now we have a camera animation as well. Alright, so it is time to render this out. And I just want to, I just want a screenshot render actually. So let me go here. I would like to see view animation. What is that? Oh, remember guys to save. Control S. Jesus, I haven't saved at all. Damn. Render animation, let's try that. That did nothing. Oh, it is because it's rendering the whole thing out. Well, you can do that. It's only 33 frames, but I don't have time for that. Where was it? There is something I can't remember. Viewport render animation, that's the one. So under view, click viewport render animation, and you can see it. And let's hide the controllers. Hide widgets in viewport. On top of which is 3D full. I just want to see if I can do so I can't see all the weird stuff. Because I could hide it manually if I wanted to. Just seems a bit weird. Okay, I'll just time it. So just hide it here. View, viewport render animation, and rendering out. And let me see here. Save as. No. Maybe it did save it somewhere. Oh, it sometimes does that. Where does it save it? We can see down here. FFmpeg video. We try again. View, viewport render animation. And let me see if I can find it. Videos. Oh, that's the wrong one. Bootcamp, of course. Videos. Why can't I never remember where it puts it? Oh well, do a screen dump or something. You don't have to render it out. And well, it is here. I'll just put it to my downloads. That's easier. And throw it up in the Bootcamp Discord channel. As always, it is right here. CADA students. You see some nice Groots we made last time. And see if my... Yes, sir. I'll try and save it as a ball tail MP4. Does this work? Nice. I'll try to see if I can put it in. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't really know which files are better than others. It does not work. Does it? Yeah, I can decrease samples. If it looks nice, then maybe that's actually okay with low samples. Let me try it actually. Because we're not really using any, what's it called, lights or anything, so it's not too bad, I guess. Let me try. Sampling, let's do 10. Select, view, render animation. No, render animation. That's gonna go a lot faster. No, okay, actually I'll add one light. It's a bit nicer this way. I'm gonna shift A, light, point. Let's see how this looks. And let's set this to, let's say 10, 1,000. Shift D. Shift D. Shift D. Gonna give it some nice rim light. I'm gonna make it red. There we go. Okay, render animation. Okay, now we should get something, hopefully. Or maybe it's just gonna throw out a frame stack actually. I never. Again, it's different than it is in Maya. Maya, I could do something called a play blast, and it just spits it out super fast. But I guess it is out here. Well, it should probably put it in downloads. Let me see here. Downloads. View animation. Have it here now. Why can't I see where it is? Maybe because you worked last time. We didn't know the disconnect. Yeah, because I can't get it to rendering done. Yeah, but where did it put it? Oh my god. Does Blender put your renders? Never mind. Screen recorder. I'll just do view animation. And I will super quickly screen record it. Online screen recorder, start recorder. Boom, done recording, download. MP4, it cannot be easier. So don't use Blender. Oh, it is right here. Wait. Oh, it is right there. Nice. It's the wrong file format again, so I'll just take the one I took from inside. Let's see if this works. Ah, there we go. There is animation in the output again. I did, Renan. The output, I clicked it here. And it worked now though. So maybe I should just use another file type next time. So it was just slow to figure it out. So I did get it. It's right there. Alright guys, if you have made an animation, please show it. I would love to see it. We're not that many today. Maybe animation is not for everybody. Maybe you're more artsy types who wants to draw or sculpt or something. It's totally fine. This animation is so cool. It's so cool. Let's see. Well, it doesn't show Elena, but we can see it here. It goes out of the frame a bit. That's sad. Let me. So I can't see it that much. Nice. You got it to fly up, Snappy. I don't know why it's jiggling up there. Maybe you should check your keyframes if you have them stacked on top of each other. If there's keyframes too close to each other and they move slightly, or the graph editor is trying to interpret weirdly, it'll give a little shake. So I think if you get rid of that, and you when it goes down here, it's smoothing out very softly over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So maybe instead just make it go and then make it go up, because it looks like it's almost deflating. I would say that's the only things I would change here. I hope that makes sense, because I like the start a lot. Bam! I can't see the anticipation though. That would be nice to see it being up first, and then make it go down, and then up. Because right now it's just springing out of nowhere. But the pop you get is nice, and the hang time is good. Just need to not make it jiggle too much. Could also be the scaling that's doing it. Alright. This was the last of today's lesson. I just want to give a shout out to a thing that is launching now here at CADA. Next year we're gonna be having a master sculpting in ZBrush, which is basically a 4-week course where you're here at our school. Of course you have to pay for it, but you get taught by a professional called Danko. So I'm very excited too. So our class is being taught by him and Birk, and you can actually apply for this, and you can not apply. You can buy this course and join us and learn about sculpting and anatomy, and really how to get into it. It's gonna be in ZBrush. There will be ZBrush on the computers, so don't worry about that. And you don't have to be that good to join. If you just join it as some stream or something, it's totally fine. But it's 4 weeks. Everything is here. I'll just link it in YouTube so you can see it. And yeah, if you want to get better at sculpting and sculpt some high level shit, you should definitely do this. Yeah, definitely some more work design. The no tail might be. Yeah, I would agree. It is. I also had some issues with it, especially because I had to do so much counter animation on it. So yeah, really just focus on getting that flow on the normal ball is very good to start with. But try applying these changes and make it send again. So make that start up, go down, and up exactly as you did, and then make it squash a lot harder so you can feel the impact. Just imagine how would a real ball do if you threw it into something. It would squash and then bounce back up really fast, right? Cool. Let me see, Billis, what you made. I used the tail. Yeah, so you're right. The drop is too quick, and you're also lagging the anticipation in start here. It's just jumping out of nowhere. I do really like the tail movement. That looks really good. But give it some hang time and make sure your curve is a nice arc. You want it to be a reverse U for a jump in the graph editor. The settlement you have here is nice though. So you have all the elements. You just need to time it a bit better. And again, have the anticipation in the start. That's really key. Not good friends with the renderer, says Ian. Yeah, same. I don't know what that shit is. Way. Okay, that looks funny. I really like the start. You have a big anticipation. It squashes and is holding the pose. I really like this part. And the tail looks very good. The only thing, well, if it's for the comedic effect, it is working. It's having a bit too long hang time. It's actually standing still. You can see right here. It's not moving, and you never want something to be flying exactly in the same spot. So always have a slight curve. Even if you want to have the little fun, it's pausing in midair, you still want it to be moving ever so slightly. And then the tail should probably not drop, move up before you start dropping. So here the tail should move. From here to here you would see it. To here actually. So see here it makes a lot of sense, right? But here it doesn't really. Very nice impact. So I feel your strongest sides. Oh, let me see. Or wasn't slow? Oh yeah, it's easing. It's easing out. So you see here, it's slowing down on the way. So make sure you have a drop, and then it will be very good. It's funny that you guys have different strength because this anticipation is really good, and the recovery is really good. Just need the impact and the hang time to make more sense. So if you guys just incorporate each other's projects into each other, it would be awesome. Alright guys, this is it for today. I'm gonna head home. The ZBrush course online. I do not know, I think you could, but you won't get as much out of it. Live on-site instruction. You could write, I would say write them, and ask them. This is my best bet, Linda. Maybe you can have a special deal or something. I plan to do rigging one day. Maybe. I don't think so. Not in Blender. I'm really, yeah. I rather. It's very heavy stuff, so I don't think a lot of people would be interested. And there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube already on that. Well, that's on everything, but it's not as fun to do together. It's very much a monkey see, monkey follow kind of vibe. Yeah, but next week is modeling. As always, we're starting over. So be there. And thank you guys for joining. See you all next time. Hope you had fun, learned something, or just enjoyed the vibe. Much more chill this time. Cool. Bye bye, guys.